What is up, Evil Dead fans? I'm just gonna do a quick tutorial on how to cast your caps. Oh, I put them away. So you'll see them towards the middle of this video. Just wanna go over a few things right now. We did have another banishment in the Knights of Samaria page. That happened. I won't go into the details of that. Only people who really need to know about it are the people on the KOS page. But what came out of it is a lot of good stuff. The Knights of Samaria page has been very active in the last 24 hours, and it's been really, really cool. But there is something that might be going on. I can't talk about it too much. I've been talking to an individual, and she knows who she is, about what it's about, which is very, very cool. And when it actually comes about, I will say exactly what it is. Met a lot of other cool people, a lot more people joined, and also a lot more people are actually coming to Chicago HorrorCon. A lot more people on the Knights of Samaria page. So we're gonna have a ton of people down there, and we got a lot of cool stuff that we're gonna do as well. So definitely go down to Chicago HorrorCon. It's gonna be neat. And you get to meet a lot of people on the KOS page, a lot of cool builders who are on there as well, and people who are just members or uber Evil Dead fans will be there as well. So it's going to be a lot of people to talk to and talk about really cool stuff and share ideas with. So I really don't have anything exciting to say. And one guy has been giving me a little bit of shit because I like to drink Keystone. So I'll try to keep the Keystone to a minimum, and I'll buy the good shit. So you guys don't think, you know, I don't know. I'll keep that to a minimum, but you know, just for him. So yeah, let's get into this. Just to let you guys know, this method is if you're going to build multiple chainsaws, or if you're starting to sell them, or you want to build different models of them, and you have problems finding the tanks, or you don't have the proper caps. Instead of spending money on them, you can actually make multiples of the caps with the tanks, and you can save a lot of money and a lot of time. Searching time and waiting time on getting this stuff versus actually doing it yourself and making these yourself. It's really easy to do. It's a lot of fun. And if you have a family member you really want to include on something, this is something you can definitely do with them. You can do this at the same time you do a muffler piece. If you want to do a muffler piece, your grill, it all works together. You can do it all at the same time if you really want to. So let's get down to it. Okay, so this is how you make a resin piece of your cap and tank. Now, we're going to use a different material to do the molding versus the muffler piece. You can buy it at Michael's, you can buy it at Hobby Lobby. It's just this more rubbery stuff to use. It's really nice to use. The resin to actually make the piece, we're going to use the same stuff I use the muffler on. First thing you want to do is cut your tank. You don't want to cut too much off. You can always trim that up to fit later if you need to with a Dremel with a cutting wheel on it, which I do suggest. You want to make actually more so you don't have pieces missing or chunks missing out of it. So, you know, you want it nice and little bit extra on the edges. So after that, and this is filled where any kind of the hoses came through on any of the tanks. Fill that in with Milliput, let it dry, put it on there nice and smooth so it's minimal sanding. Once that's all done, you get black electrical tape or you get like duct tape and use a piece of cardboard for this. I don't suggest any foam. This is just for example. And then you tape it down watertight to the cardboard. Now once you've done that, you need to make a box around it. Now, making the box is relatively easy. You can make one out of cardboard or whatever you have, but for me, I have extra PVC laying around. So what I did is just did this and then tape that down watertight. Once that's done, I take this material. Now, this kit comes with a scoop and a piece for measuring. Now, I think it's every 2 of these is equal. You want equal 1 scoop of the other material that you have to mix in with it. Just read the instructions whenever you buy it, trust me. So, once you've done that, you've mixed it up, you pour it in, you want to leave from the top at least about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch from the top just because you don't want the bottom ripping out. Let it sit for about, I'd say about 16 hours at least, 12 to 16 hours. Once that's done, you can rip it all out, pop this out, pop the tank piece with the top. If it's stuck in here, it comes out relatively easy. This is kind of what you end up with. You can see there's little tears on the edges, but that was just what is underneath the lip of the tanks, what got in there, which you don't really need to worry about. So once you have this, you want to do both tanks. Do both of them at one time, so when you mix this stuff up, you're not wasting a bunch of material. So you have two of these, and I think my second one's right here. Here's the other one. And then you mix this up like the same way I did the muffler piece. You pour it in, let it sit about 20, 30 minutes, pop them out. And the reason why you want to do this with this piece down like this, when that stuff dries, you know, in the process of curing, it makes air bubbles. And you want the air bubbles to come to the top. So if anything's sitting at the top, the air bubbles get stuck on it. That's why you want to do it like that. Same way if you're molding or making a mold for a grill, anything like that, if you're using that type of material, such as this. So let's say you got it done, right? And you have your piece, but you have a few just tiny little air bubbles in it. And you want to fill those in, and you keep on molding them and not molding them, but you keep making resin copies and you keep getting the same air bubbles. Instead of making a whole new mold, the thing I would suggest is just, what I did is just milliput edges where the air bubbles are. Milliput, you can get wet, you can sculpt it really easy. Just let it dry overnight. Try to make it so it's minimal sanding because it's going to be very, very, very tiny spots to fill. You know, you can use a toothpick or a little razor blade or anything thin to help fill those in. Once that's dry, the milliput's dry, you end up with something like this. And then what you do, you trim down the edges that need to be trimmed down. You want to fit it into your chainsaw. See where it needs to be trimmed. Once that's done, paint it up, seal it, you're done. You can weather it however you want to, and that's how it comes out. Now this is set up for Ash vs. Evil Dead to where this is in the front, this is in the back. Now remember, if you're going to do like an Evil Dead 2 raised top, where these are swapped, before you make your piece here, you're gonna have to swap your caps from each tank because this won't fit in the gas slot and this won't fit in the oil spot because these ones are from the actual tanks. Now I know some people like Nick Valenza and Rob in the past have made a single piece to where you can just slide it in, which is very nice to do. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I like to have them separate in case I want to leave them loose to give them like a jingle jangle sound, or just epoxy them in as is. So it's very easy to do. If you're gonna do this method, say if you're making multiple chainsaws, it's your best bet so you're not constantly trying to find tanks and the proper caps, because really, when are you ever gonna take the cap off? And also, you know, if you're doing these, you can do your muffler, you can do your grill, you're gonna have enough material to do everything. And it will save you money in the long run. So I hope that this helped you guys out. So until next time, you guys stay groovy. Okay, before I let you guys go, I do have a video on Johnny. It's just about random stuff. I'm gonna post that, I think, maybe right after this video, so I can get that posted. And I do have some information on the giveaway. Things have changed a little bit with the giveaway, and it will be on the next video. So just stay tuned for that. And you get to hear Johnny fart through a door. So, until next time, you guys stay groovy.